to Christ that strengthens me. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah.
She's so confident, so grounded.
I can do
Wish the audio was better, but
all things through Christ that strengthens me.
nice.
I can do all things through Christ.
Ooh, ooh.
I can do.
Oh, I have to hear that again. That's brilliant. Oh, yes.
All things through Christ.
Okay.
Everything through Christ. How many of y'all believe that tonight? That strengthened, oh, that strengthened me. Come on, choir, help me sing it. Ah, yeah, yeah.
Wow. That's satisfying and fantastic for a few reasons. Probably one of the most difficult things to accomplish as a performer is to be able to stand on stage and be so super relaxed in you know, like you're in it, but you're not an anxious mess, and you're really strong and you're really grounded. And the reason why it's very difficult to pull that off is you need to be performing a lot, because it needs to be like just like you know, you're tying your shoe. And so that's tough to pull off. What's more, what I love with this performance is that she is incrementally adding to the intensity. And oh my god, these runs are so good. In particular, the way she's hitting notes with the skipping between intervals, like, it's super good. Let's see.
Through Christ.
Oh my god. That is way more difficult than a run. When you do a run, you generally really want to keep things light. Your vocal folds, you want them to be thin, because it is far easier to move thin folds than thick ones. Makes sense, yeah? What she's doing right here is she's keeping a lot of the power from the other notes and jumping large intervals, straight tone, landing perfectly like a gymnast doing a mount, like a dismount. Like, she's doing a dismount on every single note. And she's also using different, like, things like a little bit of jaw tension on purpose, and just like a really bright, wide up tongue, right? And that creates this kind of like sassy brightness, which that might be a terrible way to explain it, right? But it makes it more intense. So she starts from super unbelievably grounded, and then goes into all of these run things that are extremely intricate, particularly, again, the large intervals that she's just kind of going through. And it's coming from an awesome place, because she is grounded, and you just kind of go right there with her, right? She's not slapping you in the face with it. You're just going on a journey with her. It's fantastic. Really, really hard to do all of that stuff. Oh my god, it's so good. Yes.
How many of y'all believe that tonight? That strengthened, oh, that strengthened me. Come on, choir, help me sing it. Ah, yeah, yeah.
And I've been told that I really should go to Black church to experience church. At first I was a little nervous. I was like, I don't want to, you know, take up space and all that, but the folks were really encouraging, and I really do want to go, because when I was growing up, you know, church was like, oh, here's Pastor Sam again, and he's just going to talk about how we need to give more money. as he drinks from the golden goblet of red wine. And the choir was like, there was like retirees that wanted to do something with their time, and so they joined the choir. And yeah, not anywhere near as good as this. Nice. Piano playing is really, really good too. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, yes. 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 Come on. Come on, piano. Come on, organ. That, oh my God, that's really, oh wow, I feel called out. The musicianship on display here is extraordinary. So there are levels to this, right? Like playing the piano and singing, an entry level, just being able to do it and accomplish it at all, not too difficult. But she is really, really comfortable on those keys. And the way that she's doing sort of these like walking bass lines, and the singing is immaculate. It's so good. Not only just is the quality of the singing good, it's also, she's doing some really difficult things, and she's doing it sitting down. That can be very hard when you're going for really powerful high notes and you're sitting down, because that posture from sitting you run the risk of it bringing you down, because the hip muscles are so influential in posture. So if you're not sitting well, like, that'll get in your way. So to be able to comfortably riff on the piano, or I guess, she has the organ, right? It was a keyboard. So to be able to do that and then deliver this high caliber of vocals takes it's almost like you gotta just like play piano like you're breathing, right? You gotta sing like you're breathing, which, hopefully you are when you're singing, but it's really, to get to this level of competency to sing and play like this is rare. Again, I'm not talking about like some pop musician coming in, playing 4 chords and singing along to it. And like, this is way more involved than that, because the level of playing, the level of phrasing on top of the singing, it's amazing. I actually have chills. This is one of those moments, like, there's a lot to talk about in terms of technique, but I don't care. Like, that's just a really moving performance, and that it can come across in that way at such a low resolution is just telling. There's something about gospel singers that I see pretty much in every gospel performance. There's never like a lack of conviction or commitment. And what's shocking is that that's true for every single gospel performance I've ever seen, which is nuts. Like that's a special singer and a special performance. Nice. Yes. Wow. Oh my God, it's so good. What I love here is that she's doing, like, as she goes up, there's brighter vowels, but then she'll really switch it up as she descends. So with belting, you want to tilt your cricoid cartilage. It'll basically fatten your vocal folds, which is what gives you a belting sound. Sometimes what happens is that people just do the belting and it can kind of be a little bit one-dimensional, but the phrasing here is amazing, because when she goes down and finishes off the phrase, not only does she change the vowel to something a little bit warmer, she's tilting what's called the thyroid cartilage, which is a bit more of a classical approach to singing. And that's where vibrato comes from, is the tilting of the thyroid cartilage. Thyroid cartilage is like the Adam's apple right here. If I go, you can see it kind of moves a little bit, and that's you tilt it, and then the vocal folds are attached to the cartilage. So as the cartilage tilts like that, the folds get stretched out a little bit, and it also warms up the tone because you are lowering the larynx a little bit. And so the way she's doing that, right? Oh my God, the phrasing is just so good. And that cowbell is good. Ooh. I mean, that's just a lesson in and of itself. No, I don't think there's a lot to say about that. It's real when someone doing runs communicates something that deep. Yeah, that's special right there. Nice. beautiful chord change right there. Beautiful, the way that she uses those 3 chords. I wish that for every time I hear a run or someone like talks about Ariana Grande or Beyonce, like no shade to those artists, they're very, very good, but it's when singers that are learning, they kind of look at these runs and they're like, oh my goodness, that's so cool and impressive, and then they, you know, try to recreate the runs, and there's nothing wrong with that, but like it ends up happening so often that the runs are like, look at me, I'm super good at singing, I can do runs. And I just wish I could show folks who feel that way recordings like these. And I think we often forget that the point of music is it's service, and it's service to the other people in the room. And what I think makes gospel so special is that that is fundamental and that is understood. And then everyone joins in on it. The choir, the audience, the preacher, like everybody is there, and they understand the purpose and the conviction, and they develop that relationship with their spirituality for years, decades. And so a gospel performance is a special performance every single time, at least that I've seen. It's like I can't watch enough of it. I'm so lucky. I started doing YouTube and I did React videos because I wanted to sell voice lessons. And after I did SZA and Jasmine Sullivan, you know, people pointed me in the direction of gospel, and I just so happy that I get to hear this. Thank you to the numerous amount of people that introduced me to the Clark sisters and to gospel music, because this is better than pretty much anything.